Let's going to begin the class, and before we step into in detail, so we'll try to think about the entire journey towards the data science process. Then I want to just walk you with a bit of this process. So our agenda for the data science mainly. So session 01, which is today, we're going to understand what is the data science is all about. The day one we spoke about it a little bit. I just want to take it high level again, just to revise on what is the data science. So, and there is one more data science details that I'm going to tell you in detail, like what are the libraries that is covered in data science, right? And followed by we're going to understand mainly in today's session, we are going to talk more about NumPy. And then before getting into NumPy, we're going to understand how to work with list, set, tuples, then followed by NumPy. In the next session, we're going to talk more in detail about pandas and with examples and libraries and practice, and then comparing a list, NumPy and pandas together. Followed by we're going to work with scikit-learn, matplotlib, seaborn, and introduction to machine learning. And there is a few very important algorithms called supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. And once we know all that, then we are going to think about how to parse different type of data sets. Finally, we'll land into project details. That is the plan, the overall plan. So I'm going to begin with the introduction part. Just give me 1 minute. So now let's begin with the data science, and I'm going to share now this PPT. So mainly a term you need to write down and remember. The data science we are mainly dealing with the data science. The main goal of it is to improve the service, to improve the process, to automate the things, or to make the decisions quicker. Okay, so that is the ultimate goal of it. So keep that in mind. Then basically just now we spoke about the sessions, right? This is what it will be covered with, and based on that we are going to learn and practice and go forward. Yeah. So typically what is the data science, right? So what is the data science? Mainly applying some statistical tools and working with existing data to generate new insights and finding the conclusion as soon as possible. So that is a direction basically in order to deal with the data. So from there, you are going to use these inputs like some tools on the data that is already grown up, right? Historical data which exists, either it is from the passengers, from the airports, or traveling, or food services, or from banking, or from population, or from election, or from diseases, some sort, right? Some sort where things are happening historically, and we try to optimize it, right? So in order to optimize better, so we have to have some tools which can take the data and pass it and try to analyze the data and come out with a report system. That is all about data science. So technically, the data science um, are happening on purely on the existing data. Okay, what is the purpose? It is going to change the service, right? Service change, meaning converting new data insights into often small changes to the business process, meaning assuming that a particular business like a Flipkart is basically, comparatively with Amazon, Flipkart not having enough customers, for example, or not enough sales. Then you are going to collect the data and see what kind of customers are purchasing in Flipkart and what kind of customers are not purchasing, just visiting and returning back. Then if you can understand their taste and the reason for leaving, then there you can tweak some changes, right? You can offer some promotions, or you can offer some gift cards or XYZ, or you can reduce the cost for a particular period of time. So then you are adjusting or tweaking a process which is called service change. Then to improve the business, to improve the process, to rectify the current existing problem based on what? Based on the data which is collected historically, last few days or last few months or last few years, and then doing a behavior analysis, right? Doing a behavior analysis to find out the facts behind the loss of the business, and tune it, make changes, adjust the business towards getting new customers. So it's all about finally the data utilization, like activity on the data collection and service change together becomes a smart work, right? So it is will be more efficient and effective use of the staff and resources. So what complements data science, right? So mainly, number one, approach. Number two, the process. Number three, outcome. So mainly you are going to think about the performance, right? In order to get the performance better, you have to define the process, you have to see the outcome, and then you keep on looking at the dashboards, and then you could keep on checking, what is the outcome of that. Finally, you are trying to meet the goals and the target values. So to get there, basically, it happens to be all the time evaluation process triggers. So as a student, you are studying, right? And so imagine if there is no evaluation, then if there is no examination or kind of a filtering process, then either nobody, everybody will not study, or some people may study, some people may not. But how do you know who is studying, who is doing well, who is not doing well? So it's always the evaluation comes into the picture in every term, every situation. So the evaluation makes things like, it's basically access to a project or a program and policy or a result. What purpose? What is the reason? Better investment of the resources, better policy decisions, right? So next, what is this policy analysis all about? So basically, one is performance approach we have taken, and another is evaluation, process. Other one is policy analysis. Like we come out with some rules and regulations, like every quarterly, or 6 months once we need to conduct exam for you in case in the college. and then yearly once the major exams happens. Okay, so if that is a policy, and that based on the policy, the evaluation, assessments, exams happens. If we think that in the current policy, which is conducting exam in during the quarterly or mid exams and finally exams, if that is not giving enough result, then we need to change the policy, right? So how do we, before we step into changing the policy, we have to think, we have to collect some data, few years of data and feedback from the students, and say that who is performed well, who is not performed well, and it's called A/B testing, right? So we'll talk about that A/B testing later. A/B testing means option one versus option two. Like the people who are not performing well is option A, and the people who are performing not well is option B, and we see that the percentage. So similarly, then if the policy is correct, and in 6 months and 1 year, the examination, which is as a policy running in college, if it is good enough, then your outcome should be very good. When the outcome is not good, then obviously we have to correct the policy. So that is the approach. Okay, that is a plan. Imagine if the exams itself, when you are conducting exams, if the exam model or the questions inside the exam papers is not good, or the education itself is not well to conduct exams to conclude, then if it is not good, then the entire evaluation process need to be changed. Okay, so the result, based on the result, we will try to see why people are not scoring well, or if they are scoring well, then no issues. If the students are not scoring well, that means whether the students are not preparing well, nor the teaching did not happen well, or the question papers itself did not design well. So how do you come to the conclusion? How do you find out the reason behind? So in order to come to the conclusion for a betterment, we have to use the data and some feedbacks from the students and feedback from the staff and everyone, and then we are going to do the data analysis and find out where is the leakage, where is the problem behind this entire process, and then adjust. Okay, so this first one is all about the outcome, like how many people joined every year in a college, how many people are basically successfully passed their all the exams, how many people have backlogs, how many people have the placements, how many people did not have placements. um, Even after placements, for example, how many students are successfully able to take up the work, and, the challenges and the work process in the company and organizations, or how many people couldn't able to take up the work, though they got jobs, but they still need to go through the trainings. Okay, so everything is all about analysis. Everything is all about data science. Finally, it all going to happen with the process of opening the data, right? So there will be a list of data. It can be by city or by college or etc. Then we are going to take the data and use the tools to basically work on the data and come out with the reporting system. Okay. So bear in mind, simply you begin with the approach. You are going to do the process, then you get the output. This is the channel that we are going to go with further to work with the data science. And what are the modes? Typically, this is not enough. These are simple examples I have given. The approaches mainly you will target to understand what is the outcome. Okay, like every year 1,000 people joining in a college. At any point of time, there are 4,000 students in a college. And then when somebody leaving, in the fourth year, what is the outcome? Okay, what is the percentage of the pass percentage from a particular college? Or what is the employment ratio which is given, and what is the survival ratio from the people who got campus jobs in the campus, and how many people got entrepreneur from each college, how many people basically doing IT job, and how many people are working in railways. So there is no limitation on this calculation from the data. Okay, so that is the reason there is so many lakhs of questions arises in each sector which are unanswerable because we can't able to calculate, or vaguely we may, for example, from your college, if I ask you a question, what is the percentage of unemployment from each college, the people who passed out, okay, in 2020 or 2019 or 2018. If I ask you, then what you do on top of your mind, you simply pick some numbers. You think about like what happened, those past few days or in your presence. Then you will say that some XYZ. But what is the guarantee that this is accurate? So obviously, people cannot give accurate information until unless it has to be taken from the data science. So it has to be going through the lot of data and doing a data analysis. So a lot of people are doing it every day. So thing is, you just think well that data science is not something that we are doing today. It has been in the process in the history. Only thing is, this new ways of doing data science will help you to do the data science and modeling in the large scale. Like if I ask you in AP or Telangana or Karnataka, how many people are basically, what is the pass percentage from by state? What is the employability percentage by state? What is the unemployment percentage by state? Or if I ask you in a particular south, north, or India wide, people take a lot of time to come back with answers. Using these data science libraries, you can able to do it right away. Okay. So finally, data science, we are going to deal with a lot of statistics, and then that is going to tie it up with the service, and going towards the smart work. Okay. As we seen earlier, approach, like definition of each term here, we just need to just think about all the approaches like lead to service improvement, right? It's about choosing the right tool for the job, or sometimes combining them. Okay. So tool means don't think about always software. It can be like you are purchasing a bike or you are trying to purchase a car. Based on the data analysis, feedback from the people and the reviews, customer rating, okay, and then if you can observe all that, and then like the retention value, like if you try to go back and sell your vehicle after 2 years, all this and maintenance and mileage, if you take all the metrics into the list and then do some data analysis, is part of the data science. Then if you try to purchase the car, then obviously down the road you will not regret, right? You will not feel bad like, why did I bought this 2 years before? It is my wrong choice. Almost like every human is doing that. Every human is making mistakes at least 8 out of 10. Understand? Like not only this, like even selection of the job, okay, type of food that we eat, type of things that we deal with in day to day. Everything we do it, you know, by accident. We don't really go through the data science, models, and data analysis, and make a decision. If you do that, if you start depending on the data analysis and start doing, buying things or making a decisions based on the data analysis, your life will be much better. You will take, all the smart decisions, and you will not regret by going back to the. Excuse me, can you mute? Who is on? Somebody is on. Hello, can whoever is not muted, just please go back and mute, please. Okay, so Let's move on to that next level. Mainly in the data science, there are toolkits, like a lot of libraries and tools that we are going to deal with. And we need to understand what we are going to work with and how we are going to process the data, what is the approach and process and outcome. Okay. So as I told you in the last session that, you try to brush up your statistical, knowledge, which we are going to use a lot of, those functions and formulas, and then doing a lot of analysis based on that. And there is series, right? So we always pick like a number series or, some kind of random series to deal with the, all the analysis. And then multi-level modeling, like a data after data, like accumulation of data and able to analyze. From there, when you are doing this process, you will come to a place where you will find some data which is not there to calculate things right. Like, if you don't have enough data, like those called missing data. So what you have to do when you get into that kind of situation, for example, you are buying a car and you have collected data, people talking about, the mileage is good, okay, and then uh, and the maintenance is good, everything else is good, everything is good except, and you want to understand after 2 years if I sell the car, what could be my price? Okay, so what is the resale value for this particular car? You don't have answer for it. That data is missing, isn't it? Because everybody brought the car just this last month or now, which is brand new in the market. Nobody knows, nobody sold it. That question becomes unanswerable until somebody sell the car, and somebody is desperate to sell it for lower cost, but that is not your final conclusion, right? So you have to wait to collect that kind of data happens for a period of time. So what happens after 2 years, after 1 year, people start selling for various reasons. Then you are going to accumulate and take all the data, and finally you are going to make decisions that what could be the resale value for that particular car. Okay. So missing data means, don't think that you two rows or some columns data is missing or some rows are missing. Missing data is all about there are certain elements that you want to calculate. Okay, some outcomes. But in order to make a judgment on those outcomes, you don't have enough data, right? For example, coronavirus, right? People are still in the process or in approach. Nobody has the outcome because they never implemented on the people, and though it is still going on very nominal, and they can't conclude it until unless it is been implemented and see the outcome. That means is part of the missing data. Like they cannot conclude, they cannot dictate the outcome. Okay. So data mining, it's all about that, like where you accumulate the data, and the concept of data accumulation and processing comes into the data mining. And survival analysis, pattern recognition, and classification, and A/B testing, machine learning, principal components, score matching, logistics, linear, regressions like, logistic regression, linear regression, and network analysis, forecasting. These are the terms that you need to be familiar with in the data science and machine learning and AI. Slowly you will understand one by one. For now, just deal with data science, very few things per day, and try to pick up a lot of knowledge from it. See, this is a huge concept. That is why in the market people charge even 50,000, 1 lakh rupees for just for training. That too, they don't give you hands-on programming access. Which people tell you to go and install your Jupyter notebook or something else, and you need to do it at home based on your interest. Okay, because it's quite heavy. Since we are doing this exercise, and most of this time you see in the market, people talk about data science and machine learning AI either in 2 days and 3 days as a workshop. that means there is nothing you will get. You just end up having the keywords in your mind, and it will bother you all the time, but you will not really feel that you are a data scientist. So that is the reason we are going in a slow mode, like taken a lot of time, like 30 days time, which I want you to build your Python programming very well and feel that you have hands-on programming experience. Then getting into data science and paste every element and feel it, and then keep on practicing. So see, guys, I'm telling you, if somebody can daily, if they are 2 to 3 hours, if somebody practice this for 6 months, then they kind of taste the data science basic level. It's a huge, and there's a lot of things that you can see, you can feel it the way I'm speaking about. It is all about uh, you know um, analyzing the data in gigabytes and terabytes, and then finding the conclusion, finding the pattern for a particular situation which is happening in the market, and finding a betterment of that. Okay, so that's why you need to touch base with all this these elements, so that you will kind of get in. And there is no, see, even if you take 6 months to be a master in it, no issues, because there are people who spend years in the data science and ML and AI to understand it, in the first level. The market is huge, happening to be very well in the next few years, all the time. I mean, everyone will be thinking about data science, and you can't believe, like, very soon you will be going to a data scientist and ask, can you tell me, what car should I buy now, or can you tell me, Monday what kind of food should I eat? Okay, can you tell me this year, the year 2020, what kind of food I should eat all the year? Or can you tell me, like, what kind of patterns I follow, hmm, in the lifestyle or dress code? Or all this will be system based. Everything will be driven from, or you can even ask the system or a person, the consultant, to guide you where to buy the cloth, what kind of cloths need to be purchased, and from which brand, and from which store. You understand? So that means everything will be calculated based on the history, and with the with the pattern, and people will come back and list out. So I'm telling you, with my sixth sense, even in hotels and menus, and even in the websites, will be rated the data science ranking very soon. Maybe in a year or 2 years, everything will be ranked with the data science ranks. Either you are purchasing a cloth or you are purchasing a car, and it is all about calculations, and that there will be a number into the particular product, or it could be a course that you are reading, or it can be a college which you are going to join. Everything will be rated based on the data science. Okay, that is the future. Next, the tools that we are going to talk about in data science, and you need to so pay attention to this one, guys. So you take the picture of that, and so that in your mind you keep this story, okay, as an index of your data science or AI. A type of languages people use to perform artificial intelligence programming, right? The libraries that people use to support this programming, to make things faster. And the data engineering happens through this list of tools. Okay, um, and visualization means what? The outcome. So basically, um, remember, we have seen that previous slide where it says approach and the process and the outcome, right? So this visualization is the outcome. Finally, you are going to demonstrate and come out with the list of reports in either in Excel or in the text file, a text format, or as a score or a rating or graphs. So those can come into this visualization factor. These are, for example, D3JS, Giphy or R. This on Power BI, very well accepted in the market, where it can do a lot of wonderful things and visualize everything for you, right? Similarly, data engineering, right? So it is all about where you get this data from. Okay. So either your profiling is all about accumulating the data from websites or from log files or from different hard disks or different storages or from different mobiles. And from APIs is all about we are going to connect to some sources on daily basis or hourly basis. You collect the data, or some optimized data means some people do some formatting in Excel or some format. They clean up and give you. Then you are going to take and adopt all varieties of such data, and then you use it, right? Similarly, in order to do all this, this is the input, this is the output. But who is going to do the process? Data engineering is the input, right? The visualization is the output. Then where is the process? Who will do the process? These two. So these libraries cannot work itself. It's like this doesn't have hands and legs. Okay, this is just meat, body, flesh. But this is going to be given to this flesh and that extra muscle. Once you add it to these legs and the bare body, like the minimal body, which has a legs, brain, and hands. And if you try to put some muscle in it, then this capacity of this particular thing will be powerful, isn't it? It's like giving a boost to a person, like giving some injections or some, some minerals and vitamins to increase the capacity of a person. So these are built long back historically, right? You know that it's not new. So these are good, but thing is, since it is developed way long back, it's like these are good to run over the normal roads, right? Or in the cities everywhere, this can go very well. But imagine we are for racing, like they're racing at the speed of 500 kilometers per hour. Then this speed, the capacity of the muscle which has in the by birth is not enough. Then what we have to do? People without disturbing this, right? Because if you start creating and enhancing this particular thing will become so heavy. That is the reason they created libraries. So now what happens? Based on your requirement, you are going to use a particular library and you deal with it. So that this primary by birth, how that was developed, whatever it is untouched and it's not disturbed. And these things is going to associate with this particular things where this is going to add extra muscle, where this can be much powerful now. Can anyone able to do a lot of good work? Okay. So in your notebook, don't try to take this, you can easily take the, picture of this and keep it in your, in the pictures list in mobile, and it will be there forever and hiding. Rather, take 5 minutes of your time, take the pen and paper, right? Properly write this, Google it, try to get more knowledge about each vertical, understand the difference between, I clearly told you, right? So input, output, then this is the process. This is the masterpiece that we have, and these are the add-on. Okay, so you're going to use this and inside that programming to make more stronger, powerful these languages to work with these two. It is going to directly work with this input and produce the output. Okay, so this is going to be like this. So it comes with process of this one, and then trying to draw it somewhere. Maybe the sketches. And so that is how these things works. So what is not data science? What is data science? Okay, let's understand clearly. So anything that you want to improve the service change, like something is going this way, as I told you, it can be a restaurant or a Flipkart sales, or it can be academic education, if we need to validate and see whether things are all right, or is there a place for improvement. And this data science, the feedback, based on the feedback, always people make very small changes. It's not like reconstructing the whole thing. That means that your operation currently is running at zero cost. I mean, basically is useless and it is not doing anything. For example, um, that particular college, it is not producing not even one engineer successfully, like everybody fails, no jobs at all. Then what do you want to analyze there, right? It's basically completely wrong. Instead, people have to go back and restructure the whole thing. There's no point of this doing this data analysis and finding the fault. It is completely wrong. So then instead we need to have mastermind, and then people need to work together and rebuild the entire system. But here the intention of this whole thing is to correct the, make small changes, not the major ones. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so next, so you understood, right? Mainly doing this data analysis to make small corrections, not to just replace the entire thing. And how do you make the corrections? Based on what? You have to use existing data. You cannot make corrections based on tomorrow's data, right? Because you need to really feel that data, like, what is happening in the last few days, last few months, last few years. Then you can able to, if anybody wants to ask a question. Okay. So then you are going to basically go with existing data and do all that. Next one is, what is not a data science? You are doing some research papers and trying to, do a basically publish a paper and doing something else, the future research, which is not happening, which is not there in the market. That is not part of the data science, because you are trying to invent something which doesn't exist in the market. Or you may need to do it, research based on if something is there in the market, then you will not don't try to duplicate it. Instead, take it and then enhance. So the purpose of this data science is all about based on the existing data and finding the fault and making small changes, improve the service. So same thing I told you, it is for small changes, not for major complete disruption, like you will stop things and stop everything and you're going to redo everything, right? As I told you, it is when you start collecting data, now you are not going to do the data science. You have to wait till you can collect data completely. This is part of missing data. When you are dealing with missing data, then you are not going to attempt for data science. You will wait till you get the data, then you start your research. So just a high level, guys. So last time we have seen this data science. Mainly the data science happens from the big data sources, right? Like databases, legacy documents, media, cloud, web, IoT, social network profiles, social media, and generating data from different sources, data warehouse, networking, and streaming, or video conferencing, and all that. Media, basically, it can be from any format, from any of the social medias, or even more. Web, it can be from mobile or internet, or the things that happens within the network in office. IoT, there is so many aspects, right? The way that you are watching the TV, or how many vehicles are going in a particular highway. Okay, how many the roads are bad, so etc. All these things happens through that. You can do a lot more of that kind. Databases, obviously anything that you store in the hard disk, either it can be cloud or local machine or in a mobile phone, wherever, however you deal with the data that goes into a hard disk, and that can be in the format of either Excel or text file or in the jQuery, JSON file or XML, or it can be a structured data like SQLs like SQL or Oracle, MySQL. Social influence happens through a lot of like sites and Facebook or Twitter or blogs and user forums, post and all that, different places. So based on all that, people start with, they will collect and they generate the data. Okay. Finally, this is the outcome. So what is happening here? This is the input. Once you generate data, that is the input, isn't it? Once you process using those libraries, then you are going to get this output. This output is basically is the final destiny for this data science. So we have libraries which can generate these graphs, and we have libraries which can take the input data and process. Very simple. What type of data you are giving as input, how you want to take that as output, and there is a libraries which can take the input. There are libraries which can process the data, and there are libraries which can generate the output. Okay, so these three things you need to understand. That's all. So everything has a business problem. In every section there is a business problem, where people always try to think that how can I make my business better, and where is the problem, how can I find that. So it is then comes into the data acquisition, that you need to collect the data, and basically you are going to process it. Like first of all, after collecting data, you need to put the data into, you basically clean it, like anything that you buy in the market, the way you clean and then cut into the pieces and eat, right? So your stomach and the system that is inside it, which is digesting your food, is the process. Okay. So similarly here, um, it's all about, it's a cleaning thing. Even if we have a car, you always every day morning you clean up your car before you drive, isn't it? So the cleaning thing is important. The data comes into different format, then which required a cleaning, and you put it into proper structure, then you process it. So basically just defining the data, it's not enough, right? So what we need to do, we need to do a modeling. The modeling is all about, it need to have a relational, either it can be structured or unstructured, but it should understand a point-to-point relation between the points. Okay, finally, very finally, in the machine learning and AI, what happens is, once you finalize the process, once you found the pattern and input and output, then people going to give you, going to train the data and test the data, right? Meaning, it's like time and distance, right? So for example, if there is one person need to go to 5 kilometers in 1 hour, then the person, whether he need to walk or run or speed walk, it depends on the distance, isn't it? Similarly, 10 kilometers, then difference comes into the pictures. Here, the training and testing means, if there is a FAQ, like if somebody asking, um, you know, some characteristics about a person or a job. Do you have a job, for example? That is a question. And the questions can be created in multiple fashion. Like, do you ever have a job? Or you currently have a job? Okay. Or are you still studying? All these questions. So you can basically manipulate these questions and insert. And based on the answer, if he says like, I need a job, then so that becomes a question for the machine learning. The machine takes that as a Then the user says, I need a job. Then the machine, for a machine, it is a question. So then it is going to come back with answers based on the way that you are going to train it. So you are going to train when the machine sees a question as I need a job, it will ask next question, what is your qualification? What kind of job you are looking for? How much experience do you have? What is your previous salary? Okay, what is your expertise? All these questions. Based on the answers, again it will go and check the suitable job for him. So that is how you need to train. So you are going to insert a lot of data, and you are going to say that if question is this, then what is the answer? If question is that, then what is the answer? That is how the chatbots works. Okay, you see that AI chatbots, the basically design of the chatbot is all about inserting data and the synonyms and producing answers based on that combination of the questions. Okay, finally, very last thing is visualization, which people create the reports, guys. So try to pick up these new skills. This is the skill that the market will be asking you to be ready. And if you are good with these things, you will attempt to have a good job, like best job in the market. Python programming, SQL queries, data analysis and visualization, data mining, web scraping, APIs, probability, statistics, machine learning, deep learning. This is the SQL, which is very rapidly growing in the market. Okay. And the Jupyter Notebook, we are using now Hebion online compiler and IDE. So you don't need it right now. At the same time, if you try to install and keep practicing, this is very helpful. Okay. So that's all for that the PPT session. Now we need to get into understanding of the first day one work, right? Just give me a small break, 2 minutes. Let me switch over to. Okay, so getting into the labs now, like mainly we're going to understand a few fundamentals for the hands-on experience for this particular session. So is everything clear, guys, so far? How is it? Like, did you really understand the sense of data science or what is important? Before you get into too deep about this, what is your glance so far? Did you kind of sense that approach, process, and outcome? When to do the when are you going to attempt for data science and when not? Can you respond one or two, guys, and see like what is your understanding so far? So everything clear? Yes, it's a big ocean.
Yes, sir.
Almost, yeah, it's an ocean, guys. Obviously, that is why that lakhs of salaries paid to a data scientist and AI experts. So keep working. You need to write down those points, understand and learn. As you know that you are attempting for bigger thing, isn't it? You are not trying to learn C programming or core Java or these small things, isn't it? So this is a big thing that you are attempting for. So the more you do, again you practice, then you will learn more. Okay, let's move on. Now we are getting into the practice. So you need to do a lot of groundwork. You need to write down a lot of notes. You have to practice more and more. Then only you will feel that you basically got, even if you get 25% of the data science for this next 1 month, it is still great. Okay, so if you know 100% of data scientists, then you will go to market and demand for 1 crore per year. Okay, so that is the story about the data science. The people who knows 100% of the data science, they are paid in millions. Okay, so don't worry, if you, even if you learn 25% 10% of data science, you are still very good in the market. Okay, let's go back to the labs and in the labs for this session. So as usual, we go with the labs all the time, right? So now let's focus on this one. So before you step into the main libraries, like today we are going to work with NumPy. Before NumPy, we need to understand how the the root the supporting factors for NumPy, how to work with them. Like number one, list. So how to, you have seen in the Python programming, we work with it, but refresh that knowledge and try to learn a little more and practice these examples. Okay, number one, so we are basically listing the names here in the format of list. I told you as in the last class the difference between square bracket and normal brackets, right? So what is a list? What is a set? What is a tuple? The difference between them. So be ready with those. Okay, so you are declaring that, and then you are going to print this, and you can able to split by comma, and then quickly take that whatever the value that you want and print. If you say 0, you are going to get the first element. If you say 1, you are going to get the second element. And you can able to basically, if you say first names like this, then it is going to print all, as it is the way that you have defined. You can also do that loop, like you're going to iterate, one at a time to read all the names which is there in this and print. So when you are practicing, don't simply practice like you copy this and paste and run and you feel that you are done. No, that is just once you do this and think more like a programmer. Think about how can I loop through and pick each name from here and print, or how can I pick first and the middle and then concatenate. How can I search a value inside this and find out? Okay, how can I print the values from reverse? How can I print the these values, even names or odd names? Correct. So, and you need to think like that, like or how can I print names in the from ascending to descending order, and then parallelly print descending order, or how can I sort these names? Guys, mute all of you. Do not unmute this during the session. So how can I basically sort these arrays so that all will print in ascending order or descending order? This will, so using this one example, you can able to you can able to do so many examples, isn't it? You can basically practice so many of those using this one particular example. At least 10 programs you can write based on this. Then what happens when you're trying to do that, for example, using this list, now you are going to feel that you want to put it in the ascending order. Then the sorting comes into the picture, and obviously you will stuck somewhere, like you need to know how to sort it. Don't worry about it. You can Google it. Everywhere there is all the libraries available, and find the command how to sort and print. So this way you are learning it. You are learning the programming in deep. If you just type this and then you feel that you are done, then your learning is very limited, and so you will not feel confident. Okay. So that's why it's important you practice all of this in the playground. So today, so one more thing, guys, in this, in order to practice the data science well, I mean, in order to see the output, you need to install a Hebion helper. Like once you start the data science, you will see something like it's called a Hebion helper that you need to install and start with the Python language so that your outcome will come. I'm going to show you anyway. I see that some of the people already started doing it, and they are, so there are some people even completed the data science. So I mean, so it can basically in the group you can ask question and they can help you, or work together. So ultimately, you all need to learn the things. It could be because of they already have some fundamental skill in Python, or they have basically worked hard last few days. Somehow they have that knowledge. If you do that, you will also get it. Like some people I saw that they got 100% marks in data science so far. You can also see it, go out to the data science course and I will show you. Okay. Similarly, you are basically taking the scores here and going through the process and converting into list. Okay. Then how do we use map function and convert that into a list? This is another example. You have a list here and you are basically using the map function and trying to map that some based on the Lombard expressions, and then finally you are going to print those numbers. How do I use the filter? So this is the process where you can use the function called filter. Then how do I convert from, basically end of the day we need to bring everything to the list so that from the list we can able to get into NumPy. So if it is a tuple, how can I convert into list, right? If it is just a normal string, how do I convert into list? So this is a simple string converting into a list using a list keyword. If it is a tuple, like with brackets like that, and how can I convert into that? It will take care of that. So if it is just array kind of list separated by commas, then that again can be listed like this. Okay. So then learn about tuples. You know the difference between sets, tuples, and list, right? If not, go back and revise. And also, I have provided the content here. Do not copy like this, okay? You basically, anything I told you, anything that is not a variable, anything if it comes as a content, you have to comment it out. When if I am you, if I want to practice this tuple, I will go and copy only this one, because this string is commented, this string is commented, remaining all, this is a variable, values are assigned, and we are printing. So this example will work. If you copy everything like this as it is, it will break. So then revise your sets, how to work with the sets. Then revise your dictionary, how to work with the dictionary and the examples. Then finally, we are going to work with NumPy. Okay. So in NumPy, basically, as I told you, you will be, so I'm going to talk about, let me basically explain the NumPy a bit using the PPT, and then we'll go back to this list. Before we start that, I will try to tell you that what are the libraries that we are going to deal with, okay? Then we'll talk about the NumPy. So far, whatever I told you, it is a revision that you are going to revise your skills in list, set, tuple, right? Okay, let's talk about the libraries a bit. So here, what happens basically, you are going to deal with the multiple types of libraries. One is, as we discussed, is all about dealing with the data and to basically process. Step one, we are going to read the data. Okay. And once you read, you select and filter. Then you do the data manipulation. Then we do sorting and grouping and rearranging. So when you are dealing with the list and sets and tuple, guys, you try to do this data manipulation, meaning you try to insert some elements, remove some elements, then try to do ascending order, descending order, and try to arrange them in groups. Okay. Finally, plotting the data means is all about the output, like coming with the reports and all that. So next, so what are the libraries that we are going to work with? Number one, NumPy. Number two, Pandas. Number three, scikit-learn. So these are for processing the data. Once you give input, and this is going to go with the processing data. And the main programming language for this is Python. And what are you going to achieve? You are going to achieve some data in the format of Excel or reports. For those, we are going to use Matplot or Seaborn. This is for output analysis and displaying to the end user. These are for processing. Okay. So let's think about list, NumPy, and Pandas, and try to understand why do we use a list, and what is the list all about, and what is a NumPy, and what is Pandas. Okay. So technically, list is nothing but array. The people who has a knowledge about this, C language. In C language, you have arrays, isn't it? So this list is nothing but kind of array where you can this is all about containing data and dynamically changing the data or sequence, and also you can store different data types in the array. That is basically a list in Python. Number two, what is a NumPy? NumPy is extension of list. Okay, is extension of list, meaning all the capabilities which a list has is available here. Also, there is an n-dimensional array representation is provided in NumPy. N-dimensional array representation. Okay, what is it for? Mainly for scientific calculations. Also, calculating them in no time, like in a quick manner. Okay. So the difference between list and NumPy is list is nothing but an array, and NumPy is basically an extension of list where all the things a list can do can be done here. Also, that n-dimensional is available where you can able to do scientific calculations and able to calculate faster, so that the performance will be better. And the difference between NumPy and Pandas is this: Pandas is kind of extension to NumPy, where this can basically take the entire spreadsheet or rows and columns, a structure, a tabular format. Okay, and you can able to deal with the data and the data frames like sheet 1, sheet 2, all that the way we have in Excel. You can take the frames and you can able to work with them, and finally you can conclude the data representation in much faster than this both. So then how do you know what want to choose what, right? Here is the comparability. So list and NumPy and Pandas. Okay, so this is all are mutable, meaning in runtime. Remember the mutable story, like when you're having a remote in your hand and then trying to play with the TV, right? You can basically, once you mute, and that means that means it is the voice is running on. You can able to increase the sound, decrease the sound, and you can even stop the sound. That is, you have option. Immutable means that you don't have any option, like you have to accept whatever it is there. So mutable means like it is giving a flexibility for you to disturb this in runtime. Like you can add values, retrieve, or make the order change and all that. So technically, mainly the entire process between this thing is, this is only the difference, meaning here it is arrays are basically taken based on the index numbers. Like you are saying, if you have 1 to 10 numbers in array collection, you can say give me value from number 5 or number 4. It is going to give you it both, all of them does the same thing. Beyond that, this pandas can help you with finding the data using index, not just a number. Okay, then what is this all about? List is basically from Python inbuilt, which is a part of the Python programming language. And then this is from library extension, like adding a muzzle to the Python. That gives a lot of good performance. Okay, and data frame is pandas is again an additional library which is going to be helpful for Python to do all this structured data in a tabular format. Just to understand a bit better, when can I use list? When can I use NumPy? When can I use pandas? Because since all of them are same, having a different utilization. List is equal to array in C language. Okay, so you are going to use array only when you are want to deal with a small amount of data. Okay, small in numbers, and which basically that means you are not going to occupy memory much, but you are going to store data and still it will solve your purpose. This NumPy, basically that n-dimensional array will be helpful and much powerful. So you can go for this option, and when you want to deal with large set of the data and dimensions and calculations. For example, you want to you want to go to a shop next to your home, like almost like 50 feet away. For that, I won't think you will take a car and go, right? Like it is just there in opposite to your road. Do you want to really take your car from car parking and cross the road and park there and get it? By the time you take out car from car parking, you can easily can reach. It is there. That is a technically very it's going to take a very less amount of time for you to do it manually, right? By walk. So similarly, there is a situation where you are going to deal with this small set of data, which you should not go for NumPy or pandas, which can be done using array. Where you think that the grocery shop is at 5 kilometers away or a kilometer away, then you will attempt to go for this, isn't it? When it is 100 kilometers away, you can you can attempt to go for this. So this is born along with the Python long back, way long back. So that has that limitation. Because of that, then next library came to help out, help with. And then on top of this both, then another library came, and all three are useful at their own situation. When you are dealing with a small amount of data, you go for this. Moderate, you go for this, and larger scale, you go for this, right? So that's about NumPy. Going back to the labs. Here I have given examples for you to understand how this n-dimensional array can be created, and you can use a Hebian playground to go and paste this and do the exercising. How to find out the values using indexing, because remember that there is option to do the Boolean indexing in this. And next one, how to set the operations. Then how do I sort this these things here. And finally, how to do some statistical performance in this. So all can be done like this. Okay. And let me go to the real application and show you how that data science looks like and what you need to do that. I will share this lab in the group. Going to that application.
Shankarji, just meantime, just I want to announce one more information. Actually, we are going to start a second batch by next week. So, students, I hope you are all happy with the training program. So, please refer to your students. I think you know Mr. Sunil. Okay, he will coordinate. Please talk to him and refer your friends to him so that he can take registrations. Thank you very much.
Okay, so as usual, you are going to log into the system, and when you are inside, guys, let me log out and log in back. Just want to go and check the statistics. So most of you doing really good, guys. So try to clear out today as much as from the basics, because from now you will be busy with the data science. The people who are here in average, please go to this one. Good, that is fine. And whoever is in this new, right, not yet done good practice. So try to spend your time today, tomorrow. So try to come out from this. I know it could be because first time you are dealing with this and taking time. No issues. Don't worry about it.
Shankarji, is it we'll know actually who is there in that 17 students?
Yeah, once you click, you can see their names. Okay. I will check some issues here, but I will find out. It's loading slowly or what?
Not practiced also, it is, I think.
There are 3 members that did not practice, but you can talk to them. Yeah, you can get this list. I will talk to our guys and see.
Okay.
So here, basically, yeah, go for this, and then using the playground, you can also practice your sessions. So get into the data science here today, and I see that we did not give any instructions, but I think because of their previous experience, these guys have completed, and the 3 people got 100% score. Okay, almost, and these other people are doing well. So this list we'll find out. No big deal, like guys. So you still have time. It is anyway you are here to learn, so nothing to worry about. As usual, you follow this pattern, and there are answers for everything that from each section. At least one solution is available in this list. You just need to open that. You can use that as a start. You can solve and get the marks. More than that, you need to install a software before doing that. Okay, so without a software, for example, if I stop this one, this is the helper which you need to install. The instructions are there. Once you run this program, this will say that what to be done, right? So they have done themselves, all those people they installed. So if it is Windows, you click here and install. If it is Linux, you click here and install. Once you are done and follow these instructions clearly, once you are done, you will have something like this. And you select Python, right, and start. So that this way your labs, all the data science related machine learning AI labs will be working fine here itself. You don't need to go anywhere. Okay. So for example, look at this, like we are working with the list now as a start and doing some operations using the list. So the minute you are good with the list, right, then you will go with NumPy, isn't it? So no, actually, sorry, list along with the NumPy. So directly we are starting the NumPy here, but make sure that you do all the list set and tuple exercise in the playground before you go to this one. Okay. So in this example, what is happening? I'm going to explain this one, and then you can proceed. We are importing basically NumPy. This is the existing library which is got imported, and then we are doing n-dimensional array matrix. Okay, we have defined 1, 2, and then 3, 4 into x, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 into y. And then using this x and y, we are going to do the addition between two-dimensional arrays. So what is the result of this particular thing is 6, 8, 10, 12, because 1 plus 5 is 6, and then 2 plus 6 is 8, and 3 plus 7 is 10, and then 4 plus 8 is 12. Then, so here mainly either you can do this nor you can do this. If you simply say that x plus y, the output will be like this. This is going to do this, addition between those matrix. If you do like, this is a n-dimensional NumPy, right? So NumPy dot add x comma y. The NumPy has this inbuilt mechanism. It will basically able to add two arrays, and then that is output is same. Like you see, this both outputs are same because writing like this versus writing this one is equivalent, same. Similarly, you can either do this x minus y or an NumPy dot subtract, and you can also do that. In your given solution, the lines are not here. I just added this morning while just checking, so that you can able to see the difference. Like even you can put, or you can remove this one, do that, so that these two you can able to see, right, together, and then I will remove this one and then put a line. Then I will see the next two is together. The results are same. Likewise, you just always have fun playing with this. Okay, the more activity you do, or try to get different outputs, you are getting better. You are getting familiar with these things. Right? So finally, you are going to do all this activity, guys. So let's go back. As I said, you have a lot of help in this. So you're going to basically go through each one, and from here also, for example, list, right? There is a topics for Python, and these things are there. Is additional help. You can basically take these examples as well, and go on. Sometimes the print is not available. Then you need to just use the print statement, and you can do like print of A or print of B or print of my list. Then it will be printing those. Okay. So learn to do that. So these things can be used as examples. Obviously, there is videos which you can still follow those, right? This will explain what is a list and how can it be used and all that. Beyond whatever I told you. Similarly, there is a NumPy, and it's all about NumPy. There is articles. You can basically refer to that. What is a NumPy? How do we do it? On these examples, you can copy and paste, and in the in the playground, programming playground, and you do it. And there are FAQs, guys. So try to, so does NumPy support, and is basically missing values. What is an n-dimensional array? What is array? Try to read these FAQs as well. There are solutions which you can pick up, and you can go with this particular thing, NumPy array range. This program, the solution is given here, and obviously that program is in this list. This is the program which is the this particular program. Solution is given in this NumPy library. You can go there and understand and take the solution, and you can type it here to get the 2 marks. So the system is going to help you almost like directly. It is 30% of the marks you will get it. There is no reason you need to stay in this red at all. Okay, if you all you need to do is use the existing solutions and the hints. Easily you can go to you definitely cross average, or at least you will be on top of the average. If you are here means you are not spending enough time, guys. This is new. At least I'm not talking about data science. In data science, it is really great that without starting the course, you guys simply started, and some people even completed. It's a wonderful thing. These guys can do more. You can concentrate on practicing more examples from the theory given here. Practice more and try to do some experiments, some more examples or micro projects. Okay. These people who are just started, it's a good thing that you are ahead. And other people who are still in the first course, try to speed up, spend more time. Okay, with your energy, you can do a lot of these things. But why are you doing all this for? The first person in this earth, based on your hard work, will be getting benefit is you. Because tomorrow there is a lot of value in the market, right, for the data scientists and AI, consultants. So you will enjoy that if you can do well now. Okay, so in the programming playground, okay, something new that we just added. So if you want to, if it is a normal program, you use this one. If it is a helper kind, okay, I mean data science related things, then you need to click on this run in helper. For example, if my labs, whatever I'm going to give you now for today's session, it will only work in helper. Like if you try to run using Python, it will fail. So if I do that, so list related, it will work in either way. Okay. So I have done using the helper, and I am also done with this program, both. It will work, but there is some examples which are related to graphics and all that. Those will not work directly through this. You have to use run in helper option. Okay, like anything that comes with visualizations like graphs and all that, in order to work with them, so when you run, if it fails, like it says that basically if it is a text based outcome like that, it will work. When you are dealing with Matplot, Seaborn, okay, so that kind of output based programs, then you need to use this for practice. In the next session, I will basically show you more into that kind. We haven't started that part. What I'm trying to tell you is, for example, if we go here, there is some programs which are purely depending on the helper. For example, visualization related, right? Plotting. So this kind, basically, if you run it, anyway, this kind automatically it will goes to helper, and you are going to get this. If I copy this code, okay, and I cannot copy from here. So if this program related to Seaborn or Matplot, if I go to programming playground, if I try to type here, it will not work using regular Python run code. You have to click on run in helper. Hope it is clear, guys. So that's the end of session for today, and I'm going to drop that labs into your group, and the video will be uploaded today so that you can practice. So just put your 100% effort, guys. Complete your first course, and then spend plenty of tons of time on this data science, and enjoy the playing with that all the syntaxes. If you are not using your pen and paper, if you are not writing the syntaxes, if you are not writing the comparison between, for example, list and array, okay, I mean list and numpy, numpy to pandas, comparison between set and tuple, okay, and list. That kind of comparisons, if you are not writing and if you are not practicing syntax, you will feel delayed. You will feel like you are you are kind of going slow. So I'm just giving you this clarity. If you go and spend, keep on writing in the paper, repeat multiple times, get the syntax right. If you do that, if you listen to my words carefully, you will feel much confident. You will handle it very nicely. The way that people are basically completing the course, you will be aggressive enough. They might have spent a lot of days and months to get to this level, but if you follow my instructions, in few days you will be like them. Okay, so don't take it, ignore this kind of sentence. I'm telling you, write the syntax 5 to 10 times until you feel complete confident, and then practice those and also write down the comparisons between the similarities. So any questions so far today? And we are able to close the session for the day. And as usual, you practice, guys. Are we done? Anything else? Anybody? Okay. Try to interact, like, even you are not feeling good to even send messages.
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah, if at least, guys, be interactive. Learn. You are in college or whatever, I know, but, today the world is different. The people who speak out, who stand out, who are ahead of the things, they have more value in the market. Who are, shy and, we are keeping quiet and not doing something else while focusing on something else, that, of interest things will not work in this market, people. So you have to think differently. You have to interact, you have to speak out, you have to, ask for. You need to be in a demand. In order to get a demand for your profile, you have to be like that. Yes or no? Do you agree?
Yes, sir, we agree.
Yes, good. Okay, so take care and then we'll meet again. Practice more. Guys, one of you from this, whoever completed or in middle of the data science, what is your experience? Can you share? Are you enjoying the data science process? Because if you Google it in the entire earth, right, I would say we are the first people who invented this process where people like you can learn data science and machine learning, artificial intelligence over the browser. We are the very first person, okay, because of my experience, all these years of my experience and the hard work that last 5 years, um, we invented this product. Okay, so where you, until unless, like, wherever you want to practice this data science and all that, people have to install a lot of these libraries. They have to configure and troubleshoot, spend a lot of hours of time dealing with those. But in Hebion, you just need not to worry about all that. All you need to worry about is the syntaxes and programs and knowledge, right? So can you please, one of you, or share your feeling, like, do you see such a difference while working in Hebion platform? Whoever started working with data science. Guys, come on, speak out. I see that some of you already started in data science, right? Can you share your basically experience?
Yeah, there's a poll also. You can go for a poll. And after this poll, actually, I want you people to talk to our trainer also, because see, he is putting a lot of time and effort to teach you. See, we want your feedback and as well as your learning experience, so that other students can also follow that.
So did anybody seen doing data science in the browser? Have you experienced that? The people who are started using the data science, I would say there is no such a platform in the market. You can only see that kind of flavor in this. So that makes your life much easy and better, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So why I ask you to speak out is because the other people can, take they will be inspired from you. They will basically take that as input and they will also do better. It is not that I want to hear from you. It is I want to say that, that other people can take the motivation from you. So please speak out, unmute yourself and say a few words about that, how you are enjoying the data science process in Hebion so that other people has that motivation. Rohini, can you, I saw your message. Can you please unmute and say a few words about your experience?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, yeah, please go ahead.
I actually have not yet started doing with the data science labs, but learning Python and executing there using Hebion labs are like motivating me to learn much more.
Excellent, good. One more person, Parth, right? Can you also speak about it? I message, you sent a message saying it is a very useful tool to execute. Can you speak few words about your experience?
Parth, are you there?
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen. I've been able to execute programs on my browser using this. I mean, just using a server and on the browser data science program. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty helpful that way.
Thank you.
You're from which college?
KSIT, sir.
KSIT. Okay, great. And we have one more, Mr. Peer Mohammed Talha. Are you there? I think he has gone out.
Anyway, guys, so just do more work. You will see that you will start enjoying it. It is a unique product. I said like not in in one of the state in India. Not in India. I'm talking about worldwide. We are the first people who invented this kind of concept. Okay, so I'm proud of that, and I want you to use it well and enjoy and have a great learning and get attempt for a best job. Okay, all the best and practice more. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
Shivji. Good day.